Today we're going to be writing equations of perpendicular lines. In our previous video, our focus was writing equations of parallel lines. Perpendicular lines are lines that intersect forming 90-degree angles. So today we're going to be writing an equation that is perpendicular to a given line through a given point. The first thing we need to do is identify the slope of the given equation. So whatever equation you're given, make sure to identify the slope. Now the next step is different from parallel lines because now we need to write the perpendicular slope to the identified slope. So whatever slope we found, we must write the opposite reciprocal so that we can use that new slope with a point slope formula to get the equation of the line. Just like last time, I'm going to be color coding my point slope formula so that I don't make any mistakes when I'm replacing those values. Let's get started. We have an equation of the line and I have a point that I must go through. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is we want to identify the slope. So remember, we're looking at our equation, and I'm going to go y equals mx plus b. And m for me here is 3/7. Okay. Now I want the perpendicular slope. This is perpendicular to. So that means I need opposite and I need reciprocal. Now, for those of us who don't remember what reciprocal is just flipping the fraction. So, the way I'm going to show perpendicular slope, I'm going to draw my perpendicular symbol. And now, if this one is positive, that means this guy has to be negative. And if this is 3/7, to flip this, I'm going to get 7/3. So, label your point. This is X and this is Y. And I'm going to color code what I'm going to use. So X is pink for me. Y is yellow. And M is going to be blue. But your question is, well, which one? We have two. Remember, if I wanted a line parallel, I would use just basic M, basic slope. However, I need perpendicular. That means I need the one that has the perpendicular symbol. So I'm going to highlight -7/3. Let's write our formula. I have y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. And I'm going to color code my formula to make sure that I don't make any mistakes when I plug stuff in. Okay, so whatever I did in highlight, we are not changing. We're just bringing down. So I have y minus y sub 1. And for me, y sub 1 is -3. Notice that I'm writing a -3 in addition to my subtraction sign. Equals m, and in this case, I'm using my perpendicular slope, which is -7/3, times x minus x sub 1, which is 3. Okay, here we're going to distribute. Okay, I'm going to move this over just a little bit. And -7/3 x, -7/3 times x is -7/3 x. And -7/3 times -3, again, if you don't remember how to multiply a fraction and a whole number, -7/3 times -3, you have to make that a fraction, multiply straight through, and then divide. For us, this is 21/3, which is 7, +7. On this side, I have the case of the double negative again. So remember, for double negatives, we always change that into a positive. Our last step here is to get y alone, so we're going to subtract 3 to the other side. leaving me with y is equal to negative 7/3 x plus 4. So this line is perpendicular to the given line, and it's passing through the point 3, negative 3. All right, let's try the next one. We have to go through the point negative 4, 4, and my line has to be perpendicular to y is equal to negative 4x plus 2. So again, the first thing we do is identify the slope of the equation. So y equals mx plus b. That means m is equal to negative 4. However, I don't want this one. I want the perpendicular slope. So if this one's negative, that means this one's going to be positive. This is just a whole number, so I have to make it a fraction in order to understand what it is to make a reciprocal. So remember, I'm flipping this fraction. So instead of seeing 4 over 1, I'm going to see 1 over 4. Label your ordered pair, and then highlight so you do not make mistakes when you're plugging in. You may pause the video at any time to catch up or to work through the problem on your own, and then we can compare our work when you're done. I'm going to write my equation again, and I'm going to color code it so that I can match up my values to the right variables. And I'm going to start with y minus. Y sub 1 is 4 equals m, which is a positive 1/4. I don't really have to draw the little plus sign there. I just did here so you can see the difference in signs. Times x minus negative 4. Notice that I'm writing a negative 4 in addition to the subtraction sign in my formula. All right, I'm going to scooch it over just a bit. From here, we're going to distribute. One-fourth times x is 1/4 x. 1/4 times negative 4. This negative, negative, we have to fix it. That negative 4 turned into now positive 4. So 1/4 times 4, if you don't remember, write it out on the side. Remember that 4, you need to make it into a fraction, multiply straight through, and then divide. So that gave me a positive 1. On this side, notice I'm not changing this to addition because I only have one subtraction sign here, or one negative sign. So I'm left with y minus 4. Now we want to solve for y, which means we need to do the opposite of subtract 4, which is to add 4. Leaving me with y is equal to 1/4 x plus 5. This line is perpendicular to my original line, and it is passing through the point negative 4, 4. Okay, let's try one last one. We're going through the point negative 2, 0, perpendicular to y is equal to negative 2/3 x minus 2. Highly suggest you pause the video, work it out on your own before you see what's going to happen next. All right, we want to first identify the slope of the equation. So first m is equal to negative 2/3. I need my perpendicular slope. If this is negative, that means this one has to be positive. This is 2/3, so to flip it gives me 3/2. All right, this time I'm not going to write my equation down. I'm going to just plug in as I go. So y minus y sub 1, I am going to label, however, okay? So y sub 1 is 0, is equal to m, which is 3/2, times x minus x sub 1, which is negative 2. Notice that I'm writing a negative 2 in addition to the subtraction sign. Double negative by now, you should feel very comfortable and make that a positive. And we're going to distribute 3/2 onto x and positive 2. So I have y minus 0 is equal to 3/2 x. And again, if you don't remember how to multiply a fraction and a whole number, do it on the side. 3/2 times 2 over 1. Multiply straight through and then divide. 6 over 2 is 3. That's a positive 3. And y minus 0, I mean, you're taking nothing away from y, so it's safe to say just y is equal to 3/2 x plus 3. If you want to add the 0 to the other side, you're more than welcome to, but 3 plus 0 will also give you 3. Well, I hope that this gives you a better understanding on how to write equations of perpendicular lines and how they're actually a little different from those parallel lines. Until next time.